Hello, good morning. My name is Bree. If you don't know now, you know. I got 5 stitches in my hand 2 days ago. Let me tell you how. Well, on American Mother's Day, on Sunday, I am working a double at my job. I've been working a lot of hours. I'm graduating college, so I've been busy. I've been tired. I slept for 2 hours the night before my double because I was just lying awake thinking about how long of a day Mother's Day was going to be. Little did I know. Go into work 7 a.m. having slept for maybe 2, maybe 3 hours. I take my break, I eat my lunch, and I get back on the floor. And a coworker of mine, she's not working a double, but she's been working long hours. And I can tell she's exhausted, and she's training a new server. So I tell her, I say, hey, I'm back from my break. You go, eat something, take a second to yourself. I'll take over training for a minute. So I'm training him and I'm teaching him about side work. And one of the tasks that we have to do is polish and stock Expo silverware. Expo is the food line. And what do we serve at this restaurant? Delicious, juicy steaks. Come on down, we're offering 25% off. What do we have on the Expo line? Steak knives. Steak knives. I'm talking with my hands, and I'm just grabbing a bunch of steak knives. First mistake. I'm grabbing as many steak knives as I can, and I realize I'm like, oh, we should just be taking like the bucket of knives. Like I should not be carrying these knives. I'm a mess is the point. I have just worked about 7 hours and I'm about to work 7 more. So I'm like a mess. Me trying to justify cutting my hand open. I take a steak knife and I put it in between my thumb and my forefinger, blade down. It starts falling, something happens, or I'm losing my grip on it, so I close my hand around the blade and I grab the handle and I pull. Genius, okay? I am an intellectual person. Just a brilliant move. Oh, Jesus. And anybody who's like hurt themselves bad enough to get stitches before will tell you that you know immediately. I was like, oh, that was bad. Oh, I just cut myself. But the thing was is that I didn't feel any pain yet. Brand new, sharp, clean knife. So I show my manager that I'm bleeding. And I'm like in shock, panic mode at this point. So like I'm immediately gushing blood. Trigger warning blood. I'm just kind of spinning in circles because I know that we don't have any Band-Aids. Don't come from my workplace. It's a brand new restaurant. It just opened. So I know that there's no Band-Aids. So I just show my manager and he just kind of goes, which I would react the same way. And this girl goes, Bree, you are bleeding. You're dripping. And I look down and there's blood dripping all over the floor. And I just know that this is like the worst I've ever hurt myself. Because you know, right? You know when you need stitches. I go in the bathroom, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be bad. I'm just gonna wash it out with soap and water. I put my hand in the sink, I'm going to wash it. And I can see meat. There's anybody who has cut through their epidermis to the subcutaneous layer knows that like you look at it and you go, that's the inside of my body. I have cut down to the meat, which is great. Like the steak knife, like we have great steak knives. You're not gonna have any trouble cutting through your steak, but I literally like cut through like I'm meat, you know? I am meat. I look and my skin is just kind of like opening and closing, like because I'm moving my hand and it's bleeding and I can just see. So I tell my manager, I'm gonna need stitches. I walk out, I say, I need stitches. He goes, he puts on gloves, cleans up my blood off of the floor, takes the gloves off, changes them again, lays down like a plastic bag, and then he goes, okay, open your hand, show me your hand. And the whole time that he's laying down all this stuff that he needs to like bandage me up, he's like, you're probably not gonna need stitches, like it looks worse than it is. He's saying all of this to keep me calm, right? He's trying to calm me down. I'm like holding pressure, I have my hand all the way up here, and I'm just like, whatever, dude. He takes one look at my hand and he just shuts up immediately. He's like, you're probably not gonna need stitches, don't worry. He looks at my hand, he goes, and I can tell that he's just like forming a plan, like trying to figure out a way. Okay, what are we gonna do? We have to get her off the floor. Who's gonna cover her shift tomorrow? Like, it's Mother's Day. I can tell that he's forming a plan. So I'm like, this whole time I've known that I'm gonna go to the urgent care, but he steps away for a moment, and then my coworker who I put on break, she comes back, she's like, are you okay? Like, what happened? I show her my hand, and she was an angel. She goes, oh, okay. Hold your hand like this. Hold it like this. So I was effectively like squeezing my meat together. She's like, just hold it just like I'm holding it. You're gonna be fine. And then she goes off and does it like she was an angel. My manager patches me up, wraps me in gauze, and my other manager he arrives with the car keys, and he's going to be taking me to the hospital. He looks at me, he says, why? And I said, I wanted to go home. We show up, I get in there, I get in the room, and I am waiting for 30 minutes, right? So what they do is like, she unwrapped everything, she took the god-awful wrapping that my manager did, God bless him, off of my hand, and she cleans it out, like superficially, just kind of wipes it down, cleans it out, and I'm just realizing, like, I fucked up, like, this hurts so bad, it's starting to hurt. I'm like, this hurts pretty bad, like, I fucked up here. I wait for 30 minutes. No doctor. Nobody comes back in. I signed the release like 30 minutes before, and then I'm waiting 30 minutes for my doctor to come back. And it starts really hurting at this point, like burning, throbbing. And so I call my mom. I'm like, hey, happy Mother's Day. Can you come get me from urgent care? And I tell my manager, I'm like, get back to work, you know. You get back to work, sir. Don't worry. I haven't even seen the doctor yet. I go out and I ask them if I can get some ibuprofen. And pretty quickly after, the doctor comes in after that. So, you know, red flag, right? And she starts cleaning out my wound, and my mom showed up like right in time, and she starts cleaning out my wound, and oh my god, it hurt so bad. She's taking like an iodine stick and just like going into an open wound. And she's looking and she says, you're probably gonna get 1 to 3 stitches. But then everything changed. I'm not good with needles. I'll never forget what that needle looked like. But she needs to numb me up with lidocaine. And that hurt so bad. I mean, everything that I did on Sunday hurt so bad, but like, it's a stabbing, and then it's like a stabbing on the superficial level right next to an open wound, so it hurts even more than it would, and then a stabbing inside your hand, and then burning as the lidocaine spreads throughout the wound. And I'm just like staying really calm, staying really relaxed, like breathing through it. The nurse is talking to me, my mom is talking to me, and she starts poking me and like touching me, and I'm like, I can feel that. And she says, can you really? And I was like, yes, I can feel it. And she says, close your eyes. Am I touching you? And I close my eyes and I say, no, you're not touching me. And she says, good, because I wasn't. And then she starts sewing me up, which is crazy because like, if someone can feel the lidocaine and you tell them to close their eyes, and you need to touch them to see if they can actually feel it. Like, this lady just did not, she just wanted to be done, which I can empathize with, but like, it affected me negatively. She starts sewing and I'm like, I can feel that. Like, and I just start crying. Because I'm not even telling her I can feel it. I'm going, like, reacting and responding to pain. So, she finishes the first suture. I feel everything. She lets the lidocaine sit, like, injects me again with more lidocaine, lets it sit, and starts sewing me up again. I don't feel the second one. I kind of feel the third one. And then the fourth and the fifth stitches, I feel 100% of. I feel her putting the needle through the surface of my skin. I feel her putting the needle through the deeper layers of my skin. I feel it going through the wound and piercing the other side of my skin. And then I feel her pulling the wound back together as she tightens the thread thread. Like, I feel everything. And I am at this point sobbing, crying, unable to speak, unable to do anything other than like weep. Stops talking to me. Like, she's talking me through it at first, and then she stops talking to me when she knows that I can feel everything. Because I think she was just focused at that point. But she gets up, she like runs me through the whole spiel, and I'm like still like crying. I didn't cry when I cut my hand. Like, I had very little reaction when I cut my hand, but like that was to date probably the worst pain I've felt in my life. Said, I'm sorry that you could feel some of that. And I just like waited until she left the room, and then I just broke down crying. I was like, that was terrible, that was awful. And then we grabbed our stuff and we left. We were really nice to the doctors, of course, but after that I just grabbed my stuff and I left. Went back to work, picked up all the stuff that I left there, gave my doctor, my manager, my doctor's note, and I went home and celebrated Mother's Day with a god-awful hand. I'm going to show you now the stitches. We'll see if YouTube cares about that. Here are my stitches. I got 5 stitches because she said that everybody was telling me it looks worse than it is. And then when she got in there, she was like, it was worse than it looked. Which is hilarious. Just my luck, you know? The thing about getting stitches is that you can't get your wound wet for 24 to 48 hours. So I haven't been able to shower or really wash my hand for 2 days. So now I'm going to do that and get some of this blood off. I love modern medicine. I cut completely through my epidermis layer. My wound was too deep for just dissolvable stitches, so I have to go in and get them removed. Look at how much I cut through my hand. Just insane. I'm gonna have a wicked scar. My first ever time getting stitches, the worst that I've ever hurt myself, was because I was working a 14-hour shift off of 2 hours of sleep. Make sure you rest, don't overwork yourself, and hold knives by the handle, please. I love you. I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm going to wash everything, especially my hand, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.